video, I'd like to discuss the government and politics in Britain. So, I'd like to begin with this question of Great Britain or Little England. So, Britain, as we know it, was the first country in Europe to develop a limited monarchy, modern democratic institutions, and industrialization. All of those roots are in England or in Britain. And in the early 1900s, the most powerful country in the world was Great Britain. So that's where this idea of Great Britain comes up. You know, this grand country that controls a lot of the world. But others would think it's, well, the little island that conquered the world, so it's Little England. So just this question of, do people decide it's this big, great country, or, that's, at its peak, or is it, where did it come from those small little beginnings? So since then, Great Britain lost much of its lost much of the empire, the land area. It's no longer the leading economy of Western Europe either, but it is still a major player in world politics. So it brings us to the power, authority, the legitimacy, and stability in the United Kingdom. So traditional legitimacy, a lot of legitimacy in the United Kingdom today is based off tradition, the monarch, Parliament, House of Commons, not having a constitution, things of that nature. And that's where the idea of the Constitution of the Crown comes in. While there might not be an official written constitution, what would typically be known as a constitution is a combination of common law in the United Kingdom, documents and treaties and things, and other various items which society is believed to follow and that have been traditionally followed over time. One, recent change to, something where the traditions do change a little bit is this idea of Thatcherism. Margaret Thatcher in the 1980s, going full towards a large conservative country, a lot towards free market and things of that nature. A lot of private-owned companies, which the United Kingdom before that wasn't really like that. It was a lot more helping people, people we consider it less free market. And people in the United Kingdom have a lot of nationalism for themselves. They're proud to be members of their country or of their group that they identify with. There is a lot of insularity within the United Kingdom, wanting to play a role and influence things in Europe, but still wanting to be its own. And that idea really has been throughout the time that the United Kingdom has been a country, and even England before it. But that really showed itself during the vote to stay or exit the European Union, which, leaving the European Union, that vote really showed the insularity of the people of the United Kingdom. There's also this idea of noblesse oblige, where the upper class have the responsibility to help the poor, the less fortunate. That's where the idea of the welfare state comes in. The United Kingdom will help to pay these less well-off individuals, give them some money, have these welfare programs, national health service, things of that nature, to try to help people who are not as wealthy. Then we go to the political and economic change. So political change in the United Kingdom, based off the idea of gradualism, happened slowly over time. But it has changed a lot since the Magna Carta was signed in the early 1200s, but it gradually has happened throughout the years. The Labour Party, focusing on the other side of something which changed a lot. The Industrial Revolution changed a lot in the United Kingdom, or in Great Britain and England, and the Labour Party really was in a similar boat as the Conservative Party, but right before Margaret Thatcher, and one of the ways that Margaret Thatcher and the Conservatives went so far to the right, the Labour Party went far to the left, try to get a lot more worker-run things, try to get unions to shut parts of society down. So that's some sudden shift that's not super common in the United Kingdom. Trade Union Council, of course, trying to, better deals and such, affiliating with the government and trade unions and labor groups and the economy. There's the idea of the collective consensus, and the idea is to help the country and the economy overall. And then the less fortunate with the Beveridge Report, trying to give more money or resources or help to people less fortunate, and that's where the idea of the National Health Service comes in. Having the taxpayers fund the health system of the United Kingdom, and then the mixed economy of the United Kingdom having some elements of capitalism, like private land ownership, but some maybe of what people would consider command economy, with the government owning some companies. Looking more at the political culture and political participation in the United Kingdom, there are social cleavages between groups and that live throughout the country. The Plaid Cymru is an important symbol in Welsh culture, the flag of Wales. Ireland, before it was freed following World War II, but between World War I and around the after World War II, there was this idea of home rule. Ireland would gain a lot more power and autonomy over itself in the United Kingdom. The Irish Republican Army has been a pain to the United Kingdom, to Great Britain, because they've done attacks in Northern Ireland and such, just trying to get that free Irish state, especially in Northern Ireland. There have been issues. There's a solidarity in United Kingdom society to try and help one another. However, with the wealthy, there is this idea, first with the public schools, more towards pre-university education, where families would send these wealthy students to these public schools. I mean, the quote-unquote public schools. I mean, they'd have to pay a lot of money. These students would live at the schools. And the idea of public is meant to, these schools would help train these students for public service, rather than these schools being open to everyone in the public. And that's for this idea of Oxbridge comes in, the two main places where a lot of members of parliament are from, these universities, Oxford and Cambridge. And some political institutions inside of the United Kingdom. It's a parliamentary country. The Parliament, the House of Commons, controls pretty much of the government decision-making policy that exists in the United Kingdom. Earlier, before the two-party state, there was a lot of political parties used as caucuses between groups to decide, who supports what. I mean, back in earlier days, there's this idea of the Whig, a Liberal, a Tory, a Conservative, still used with the modern Conservative Party. But what happened with this Liberal Party, it kind of went away. The Labour Party took a lot of its power, trying to get more help for labor unions and for the workers as a result of industrialization. Conservative Party, still very powerful today, one of those main parties in power. Currently, the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak, is from the Conservative Party. And then there's the Labour Party is more of the left, the workers' unions. Conservative Party is more of the right. And the Liberal Democratic Alliance Party is something which try to go in the center. It really grew since around the 1980s. It has gained much percent of the votes for the House of Commons in the United Kingdom, but since those votes are spread out much more, there has not been a lot of seats in the House of Commons given to members of the Liberal Democrats. But that is the third largest party by the number of votes in the United Kingdom. Some current issues in the United Kingdom is this idea of, the liberalism, a lot of this free market type things. Is that the best idea for Great Britain? The collective consensus, trying to help everyone inside of the society. Keynesianism, basically, it's an idea to help the economy. You would spend as much as you can on programs, try to get rid of unemployment, try to give everyone a job, try to spend a lot of money, and then eventually your economy would build back because of that. Neoliberalism, a lot of that free market economy, and free market economy, a lot used during the 1980s. There's something that's looked at in the United Kingdom, which is trying to be lower the misery index, which is the unemployment number plus inflation number. And of course, you want that misery index to be much smaller. Recently in the United Kingdom, there was the austerity program, which looked to cut government spending, and some people were not too happy with that, as the government gained more profits. The austerity program was continued and began around 2010, and it lasted at least through 2014. And Theresa May was one of the more recent leaders of the Conservative Party Prime Minister. Actually, there have been 3 other ones since her, but she did rule the party following Brexit, and then she called a snap election. She lost majority she had, and then she left following the 2019 Parliament election, where Boris Johnson became Prime Minister and Liz Truss became Prime Minister, now Rishi Sunak. And that is the story of the government in Great Britain.